Hello. And
Oh, I get it. Okay, I see what I was doing wrong.
I got you.
All right, I get it now. All
Yes,
right. I'm like, man, how is it that I can hear this man, but he can't hear me? All right, we here now.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so now you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go. Man, all right, we got the technical difficulties out the way. Man, I'm with the Northwestern. I know how to figure this out, man. Come on now. You be trying to make things all complicated. It'd be just simple. Just click on your name. That's all I had to do was click on my name. I'm trying like, hey, how come I ain't popping up? But now we here.
Michigan, you Northwestern dude can't figure out. I'm staying out the way.
Man, hey man, this is man, we got a session this season. We getting geared up for just basketball off season and throughout, throughout the year, we're gonna have special guests just talking basketball, bringing that old school flavor back. Matter of fact, I gotta show the background at the game when I caught the lob against my cousin before I bring the intro in. Oh, well, you're in this game. Hey, I gotta see it like that. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's all hard.
Yeah, that's all. Who is that? That's B-Rob
and Lavelle.
And Lavelle, yeah, LB.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah, I gotta see her. I gotta sit right here for this one. So this hanging right up on my wall and everything.
Hey, you gotta send me a picture,
yeah, I'm gonna take a picture of it and send it to you. I got you. I'm gonna definitely send that to you. All right, man. So man, let's talk about it, Shy, man. We in our segment. This is Locker Room Talk with Jitim Young, and my guest today is, man, the one and only, man, University of Michigan, one of the best point guards I've ever faced and played against in the Big Ten. And the reason why he's one of the best I've ever played against, because this is my cousin. We in the same bloodline. Yes, so, of course, I was battling myself, but I was still killing it. I ain't never beat cuz, but, man, that work was real. And everything. But, man, we got Daniel Horton online, NBA Miami Heat, man. We got a real pro. And, man, we just going to get to talk some basketball. What else, cuz? How you doing?
Man, doing good, man. Doing good. Good. Glad to be here.
Man, for sure, man. Absolutely. Man, I'm proud of them your Michigan boys. They represented for as long as they can in the NCAA tournament. To me, they was the best team in the country, but just fell short in the tournament. Just talk to me about how you felt about the Big Ten this year, and then just talk about the tournament performance that the conference put on.
I think this is the first year I've watched. This is the most Big Ten basketball I've probably watched since we graduated, right? Being those first few years when you're playing and you're away, you don't really have a lot of time to sit down and watch games, especially like a lot of college games. So I would catch Michigan games here or there, like through the Trey Burke runs and all of that. So This is the first time I probably watched about 90% of the Michigan games. I watched a few other Big Ten games this year, and I thought coming into the season that the teams that end up being in Illinois, Ohio State, Iowa, I knew they were going to be really good because of what they returned, and Ohio State got a couple transfers, right? And with Michigan, like I talked to Chris Hunter a lot, and I was like, Chris, like y'all have a chance to be good, man. I think people sleeping, like because of the way Juwan prepares them and the way they've developed those guys since they've been there. Now, Coach Beeline did a great job as well, so they had a great foundation. Right. But Juwan's approach and his belief in player development, I knew would go a long way. And so with those guys, even with the pandemic and not having a true off season, I just know, like when I went up there and I saw the work that they were doing, I'm like, yeah, this is the skill work and the work that needs to be done in every gym, every practice gym in the country. And a lot of places it is going on. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, they're on the right track. So when it came into I thought they had a really good chance to surprise people, and they did. Right?
Yeah, they were the number one team in the country.
Yeah, for sure.
Going back and forth with Gonzaga and everything. I think Baylor was number one at one point and everything like that. But yeah, Michigan was complete, and they got into the Big Ten and just kind of took off.
Yeah. Now I think once they hit the Big Ten, like they found a rhythm, like a different rhythm. They were already doing really good, but they found a different rhythm and a pace that where it was going to be hard for anybody to keep up. Even in the half court, the pace that they played with, the way the ball was moving and hopping, and the way players were moving, and big fellas screening and rolling. There was a lot of actions going on. Like I knew they were going to be tough to guard, and so that came out. You know, that's how things pretty much played out. And I think losing Livers going into the Big Ten tournament really hurt. And I knew they'll be okay. Like what the game that they lost in the Big Ten tournament, I think Livers, they found out. So they found out the night before the tournament he wasn't going to play or whatever. So they won the first. They made it to the semifinals and lost. And I was like, okay, that run without your best player on short notice says a lot about what's going on over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could have used definitely when they got UCLA was just on fire, true. I mean, they was hot, but not having Livers, I think if you have Livers, now you don't put Wagner in positions where, he's struggling shooting the ball, and you putting the ball in his hands because Juwan understands the program, just like, hey, ride out with your best players. Don't make them feel like you losing confidence in them. And it just Wagner didn't have that night. But if you got a guy like Livers who's been in this situation before, who understands how to win, who's played in big games before, he helps you weather that storm. And maybe they pull that win out against UCLA, maybe by double digits. You know what I mean? Maybe they pull it out, but definitely not having him down that stretch. It was tough because UCLA had 2 6'8" boys that could go get it off the bounce, and that was tough for Michigan to counter when they wasn't really scoring like that, and they was kind of, like you say, moving the ball, going through their offense to get tough baskets. And UCLA was coming down court, just boom, 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 scoring like that.
Yeah, and he played a long time, so like you lose your, what's considered to be your leader, your best player on short notice. Yeah. Like a lot of teams come out that next night and really get kicked.
Right.
It shows, like I said, that the short run in the Big Ten tournament and the run in the NCAA tournament, it showed that the toughness and the discipline and the overall, like the health of the program when you can make a run like that and your best players on the sideline, right?
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, that was really impressive to me. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I've seen a lot of teams lose their best player, and hey, what are we doing? Yeah, exactly. Because it's gonna catch up with you at some point. But it doesn't mean you have to fold and give up, right? You can come together even closer, figure out ways to, like Juwan did, okay, we're going to slow it down a little bit and play through big fella. And everybody buys into that game plan, and you execute and you win. So they did a good job of not folding and continuing to fight and competing. They did well.
Yeah, I mean, they were suffering. Juwan Howard, that Chicago mentality that he got. Like, man, look, I don't care who here or who we going against, because the way they gave it to Florida State, man, I thought Florida State was a 22 seed, and they had all them athletes on the floor, and Florida State they 30'd them. That game was over with before it even started. And that's why I was going in. I was like, yeah, Michigan, even though they don't got levels, they just still deep and still looking good and everything. But when you talk about, like, you look at the Big Ten was the #1 conference in the country. That's undeniable. Nobody could debate that. You have 14 teams, and all 14 of them was good. They all showed out a non-conference. All of them, all 14 teams at some point in the season was ranked in the top 25. But then they get to the NCAA tournament, and this is like kind of the rumors. The Big Ten tournament was held in Indianapolis. So a lot of the teams, the 9 teams that made the tournament, was already in a bubble for a month. And then when the tournament started, that was like more time that they was away from their routine. Now, you know, we as hoopers, we never like to make excuses and everything like that. But with the #1 team in the country, and out of the 9 teams, none of them makes it to the Final Four, and only one makes it to the Elite 8. What can you say about the performance, and does that play a role with a team, 9 teams being in a situation in a bubble for a month, while other teams, the other 60, however many teams made it to the tournament, comes in fresh and they have to play? Is that an excuse, or is something that we got to take in consideration of why the Big Ten didn't perform well?
Nah, that's an excuse. Like, if you've been for a month, that's damn near like your home gym now, right? like let's be real. Like, as a college student, like, half of y'all in the dorm, some of y'all in apartments. I'm pretty sure they are living pretty good in Indianapolis. You know what I mean?
True.
Not having to go back and forth to class. So, like, you're all basketball at the moment. You know what I mean? It's like it's like a month-long, 2-month-long AAU tournament, like when we were kids, right? Like, it's all basketball all the time. So how can, as a basketball lover and a basketball enthusiast, I feel like that's an excuse, right? I feel like you have an advantage. You've already played 3 or 4 games or 2 or 3 games in these buildings already. Not only are the early round games are held at Mackey and other places within the Big Ten. It's the eventual final, whatever's condensed to Indianapolis. So, like, that's all Big Ten footprint. So, if you're looking for excuses, sure.
If you're looking for excuses, and that's what I would say. Like, as a competitor, it shouldn't have been like technically the Big Ten had the home court advantage. You know what I mean? And
how often does it happen, right?
Yeah, everybody was in one location.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, everybody was in one location. So, I knew things was going left, especially your rival school, Michigan State, when the kid made a mistake against UCLA at the end of the half. As a basketball player, I'm thinking, what basketball player don't know you about to get yelled at for a blown assignment? Coach Izzo goes and approached the young man, and first he was talking to his teammate about it. Coach Izzo goes and approaches him, and then he gets an attitude with a Hall of Fame coach. And I think that, not saying that happened to every Big Ten team, because Ohio State, Washington made, he's the best player on the team. I know he's coming back as a junior, but he took the shots that you want your best player to take, and he missed it. Purdue lost. I think they were just young, and they played against a veteran North Texas team and everything like that. I think Rutgers did what they were supposed to do. They got as far as I thought they would. Maryland, teams like that. But that Michigan State game was the one that really made me sick to my stomach. And is there any game in that tournament that's from the conference that stood out to you that was like, they should have performed better? Maybe Illinois, Ayo dancing with the ball instead of just attacking Loyola and making Loyola play their game instead of they playing Loyola Chicago game.
No, for sure. The overall performance of the conference was very disappointing. Because me living in the South, I got to hear that all the time. The Big Ten doesn't have the athletes. The Big Ten doesn't have this. The Big Ten doesn't have that. And then when they get out there and basically prove people right, it makes it hard to get I'm going to always on Michigan stuff, but I get more comments all the time, right? So, but the thing is, all those teams kind of have flaws. So that way, if you're a middle of the pack Big Ten team, you kind of have some flaws that you're going to have to overcome when you're playing other teams from conferences that may not be champions, but they've won 20, 24 games, something like that. They're used to winning. So when you play one game situation, both teams are used to winning, all of that. The conference affiliation doesn't really matter as much. So you have to play good basketball. So like you said, you playing in a nip and tuck game and you blow an assignment. Your coach, don't matter if your coach is Tom Izzo or your coach is Joe Blow, he's gonna get on you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that was a bit shocking to see that moment. But I think overall the Big Ten that the games that really shocked me were the Illinois game, obviously, because I thought they would make a run similar to what Michigan made. They would be a Final Four team. But the Ohio State game, the first round loss to Oral Roberts, was probably the one that's like, wow.
Yeah.
Because Ohio State was clearly the more talented team. And like the kid from Oral Roberts is a really good player and he's a pro. He's going to be a pro and led the nation in scoring or something like that.
And he was only a sophomore. This is only his sophomore year.
And he's a Dallas kid, by the way. But that's
shout out to Dallas, baby.
Yes, sir. But the overall depth of Ohio State's team, that was very, and the way that they finished the season, that was very surprising to me. So I knew once Ohio State lost, like it was going to be, it wasn't, at that point I was like, yes, somebody has to hold it down for the Big Ten.
Yeah. I think this, to me, like that Michigan State loss was like sickening to my stomach. The Ohio State loss, it was bad because the kid that was the first team All Big Ten player, he didn't play well. He the one who received the death threats on Twitter from the people in Columbus. Actually, he's from Illinois too. Liddell is his name. And then, like I said, Darius Washington, a guy that can go get his own bucket. It just made me think about kind of like that Kobe moment when Kobe, first when Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel left, they told Kobe, go get us a bucket in a finals, in the playoffs, and he shot that air ball, and you know what I mean. And I was like, people will see Darius Washington as like he didn't succeed, but I see the player that he is gonna make him hungrier, it's gonna make him better. And he gonna come back next year with a vengeance. So I'm looking forward to seeing him. I don't know if he going to test the waters with the NBA, but if I'm pretty much a lot of those teams, except with Ayo. I think Ayo ready. I think he's a top 10 pick. I think he's ready to go and be a mainstay to somebody franchise. He's ready. I don't know why he played the way he played against Loyola Chicago, but he's like pro ready. He's ready to go help a team win right now. But like somebody like Darius Washington, who I think will be a pro, I think he let this burn, work over the summer, and then come back and see what he could do with his team next year.
Yeah. I think they definitely, if he comes back, they bring a lot. They're always going to recruit real, like that recruit well. Ohio State, you know what I mean? They're going to recruit well all the time. So I think their loss this year is going to, if any team or any school is going to use it as motivation going into the next season, I think they'll be one of those teams.
Yeah, I think so too.
Especially watching the trophy, had the regular season trophy.
Right. Well, Michigan, Juwan, coach of the year, and he's definitely like the Big Ten is going to be back next year. Like similar to you, because I do a lot of sports shows and a lot of debate shows. I'm not only debating the Big Ten in basketball, but I'm always debating the Big Ten against other conferences in football and everything like that. But we talking about pros. We talking about kind of, your journey. You know what it's like to be in the NBA locker room. I know what it's like to be in the NBA locker room and kind of watching the NBA and where is that right now. Kind of what's your take about the weather of the NBA in regards to the MVP, in regards to who are your favorites to win it, for somebody that's been in these organizations and have played in this league, kind of what do you feel the weather is with the NBA this season? The
trades are, that's what the NBA has become, right? Like the top teams leading into and it's like that in a lot of other sports as well, but the top teams leading into with the trade deadline. They look to
Yeah.
make moves to try to solidify their rosters and put themselves in position, even better position to win a championship. So
Right.
you can't blame them for doing that. What
Yeah.
I kind of like look funny at is when guys quit on their team or get bought out or whatever, however it goes, to go somewhere else and play for a different team. And that's not saying that they're wrong, because obviously the teams have a right to sit you. And if I feel like if the teams have a right to sit you and they don't want you to play as a player, you should be able to express when you don't want to play for them anymore. That's only fair. But the way I was raised, my competitive spirit, like I'm going in down in flames with the guys I came in with.
Right.
So, and maybe that's, not in the professional world, that's you can get burned doing that. But some people would rather live with that. Like Dame Lillard seems like one of those guys. Like, yo, I'm not
old school.
Yeah, I'm not. Hey, you want to win? You can come play with me.
Yeah.
But I'm not. These are the guys I came in with. I'm winning with these guys right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm in the foxhole with these guys. I'm not jumping out the foxhole and going get in another foxhole with somebody else.
Yeah.
So
that was that, and I feel you, because them the same values that I was brought up in with the game. Like, we seen Jordan, we seen Ewan and Reggie Miller, these guys, Magic and Bird. They was like, man, look, Dominique, and we stand where we at. You know what I mean? We ain't finna Charles Barkley. We ain't finna go team up. I'm Michael Jordan. I'm finna go team up with the Dream and with Magic and go get one. Nah, they were like, nah, I'm trying to beat you. And I understand this is a new era and a new basketball time we live in today, where they just like, let's do it. Maybe it started in AAU. A lot of these guys played against each other and everything. And to your point about Dame Lillard, I think I see a little bit of that in Chris Paul too. I think Chris Paul is like, yo, I'm gonna figure out my way. I ain't gonna go jump with Bron. I ain't gonna go jump with, Kevin Durant. I'm gonna go to a team that look like they got a potential. I'm gonna be a piece, and I'm gonna see how far I can take them.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like even look like with LeBron, I'm pretty sure I don't know him. You know what I mean? I don't I'm not speaking for him, but I'm pretty sure if you ask him of the championships he's won, which one is the sweetest, he's gonna say that one in Cleveland.
Right.
And that was still a very, that was a super team that was put together with a few stars, but it wasn't the D Wade, Chris Bosh situation. You know what I mean? So I think the beauty and the what makes it great in the end is the struggle during the grind, right? So the harder you have to work, the harder you have to grind to achieve something, the more it's gonna mean to you once you achieve it. If I got it easy, okay, whatever. Like I can do it again. It was what you think.
I can do that again.
Right, but if
it ain't gonna mean as much.
Right, like if you came to within an inch of your life, you know what I'm saying, to achieve something, and you achieved it and made it through that, now you're looking at this like, okay, I'm a champion, like I'm a true champion.
I'm a true champion. I have to really go get it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So and it just depends on how you look at it. Like you said, some values are different now. They handing out $200 plus million contracts now. They weren't doing that when we were coming up. Our basketball character and our basketball brains were being developed as kids. They wasn't passing out that type of money.
Right.
So you had Jordan, people, superstars saying, "I'll play for free. I'll play for the love of the game." That's how we grew up on. You know what I'm saying? So now it's about getting a bag and building your brand and, you know what I mean, all that type of stuff, and how long you can play and continue to make money at a high level. So I get it, but I think as a basketball purist, I love those guys that like, hey, I'm 10 tones down with the dudes I came in with.
Yeah, I hear that, and that's why like Golden State, I hear what Draymond saying is like, man, we won, and we had the best record that's ever been in the NBA with the guys we drafted to this team before KD came. We had already did it and did something. You know what I mean? So with that, with the your Final Four, two in the Western Conference, two in the East.
Mhm.
What is it looking like to you, and who is your dark horse to go to the finals and both conferences?
Okay.
If you have to pick a Final Four, you got the Eastern Conference finals, you got the Western Conference finals, and then you got like a dark horse, like from both conferences. Who would it be?
All right, so I'm gonna give you that, and I'm gonna ask your other question about about what I think about the MVP race. All right, so
Okay.
my top four in the East, I would say New Jersey, obviously, if they're everybody's healthy, right? And
Yeah,
Bucks have really, kicked it into another gear. You know
they
what I mean?
have.
It's still gonna come down to how many jump shots Giannis is gonna make to keep the defense honest.
Yeah.
But right now, like they've kicked it into a whole nother gear. Like when they have their team out there, they've been scoring 130, 140 points on people, and they're kind of back to keeping teams closer to 100. Like that was kind of like the thing with them coming into the bubble. They were the best defensive team in the league, and through the bubble, they were one of the worst.
All right.
So like, I think if they get back to playing defense how they did before, it'll be the Nets and the Bucks in the East. And in the West, I have, if the Lakers are healthy, they're going to be hard to beat. I don't care, how you feel about LeBron or how you feel about the situation as a whole. If they're completely healthy, they're going to be hard to beat. So I would say the Lakers. And I'm going to give
Even with Rondo going to the Clippers, with the Clippers finally getting a point guard.
Yeah, because they still who plays who are the bigs in with the Clippers.
They just signed DeMarcus Cousins.
But see
they
how
got Ibaka.
See, I got to think for a second. The Lakers got, you don't have to really go too far with the Lakers. They got AD and Drummond now.
Yeah, they do. And you got Gasol coming off the bench.
Exactly. So they're back to having a really good three big man rotation. You know what I mean? You have your superstar and AD. And they may not be as athletic as Dwight and McGee were, but they're veteran guys who know how to play basketball. So, and Drummond is going to get you 10 plus rebounds regardless. So they're going to be tough. And then in like the West, I think that's where you could probably pick a dark horse, right? Because after Utah and LA, it's a bunch of teams that Utah, LA, and the Clippers. I'm sorry. After those three, there's a bunch of teams that like, hey, we could beat like the Suns. Like, are you just absolutely sure Utah can beat the Suns in a 7-game series?
I don't believe in Utah, to be honest with you. I think, to be honest, if Steph can get the 8th seed and Utah stay 1, I got Golden State over. I got Golden State over Utah. Ooh, I don't believe in Utah.
You talking spicy now? Oh no,
I don't believe in Utah. If you get Steph Curry in this tournament and you say, okay, now fellas, we made the dance. We in the top 8 because the way it's looking. If Steph don't get that 7th seed and he stay 8 or 9, he got to do the play-in game. Kind of what Ja Morant was last year.
They're liable the way they've been. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's the only thing with the Warriors, that they're liable to get beat by 30 in the play-in game.
It's a one and done. It's NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and they've had some really shocking performances. Like they got beat by 50. They got beat by 40. Another night, you're.
Oh no, it's not one and done. It's the best of 3.
Oh, it's the best of 3. Okay, that's that.
I think it's the best of 3.
I like the chances better than in a series.
Okay, yeah, I think if it's play-in, it's the best of 3. Because it's the best of 3. Okay. I think so. Yeah, it is. Because Ja Morant last year, who I thought I wanted him to make the playoffs so bad, even though he still did get Rookie of the Year. Ja Morant is back in the same situation where he hovering around that 8th spot, and if he got to meet up with Steph, it's gonna be Memphis. He last year he lost to Dame Lillard. This year he gonna have to face Golden State. They look like he gonna end up having to face Golden State to get to the playoffs. But I think Golden State in that situation, even without Clay, with Draymond, Steph, and Steve Kerr, they'll have enough to make the 8th seed in. And then if they get in that tournament and they gotta see Utah first round, I got an upset. I'm taking Golden State Warriors in a first round upset.
I would like to see a young bull against big fella in Utah, Wiseman against Gobert, because Wiseman's been pretty good lately.
He has been.
I would like to see that matchup. That would be a good matchup.
But yeah, I'm more like, okay, LA, and then like the other scary team in the West, to me, like that's scary. Like I'm like, I'll be scared to play against them. It's probably, I mean, maybe you flip a coin between Portland and the Suns. It's the Suns. Is the Suns not ready for that moment because Chris Paul in the playoffs haven't really showed you. He haven't showed you a Chris Paul that he is in the regular season.
True.
And then with Portland, Dame Lillard has been the most clutch player in the NBA all season. True. So when you talk about scary team that I'm scared to play against, I think three. I say three in a possible like spades. I say the possible is the Suns, but I think you got three. I think your three books is LA, Portland. That's scary. I'm not scared of Denver. I'm not scared of Utah.
Okay. Makes sense. And so, like I said, I'm not a big believer in Utah either. I'm not quite as sold on Denver as some other people are. So I'm gonna go with LA and LA. Let's go LA and LA with a Clippers upset.
Yeah, the East is more intriguing to me because I'm scared of Embiid. I don't care who Brooklyn got. If Embiid hoop, I don't know, man. Because I don't know. I got to see what Kevin Durant gonna be there. But man, Embiid this season, if Joel Embiid, man, look, he a problem. He's a problem. I would say that's my dark horse. Like, it's something about Boston that intrigued me, but I think Boston is one player away. They missing something. I don't know what they missing, but Boston missing something. Right. But Embiid, I'm scared of. And then, obviously the Brooklyn Nets is the best team. Harden, Durant, and, hopefully Kyrie have his head together by the playoffs. But you can't knock the rise that the Milwaukee Bucks making. Milwaukee is on the rise, and they kind of like San Antonio quiet. Mm-hmm. They like killing everybody, but ain't nobody talking about them. And that's probably good for them.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely good. They can sneak under the radar, continue to get better as the season goes along, hit their stride at the right time. They can shock some people. But the series that I really I'm going to watch, if the standings hold like they are now, I'm going to watch every game of the 4-5 Hornets Hawks series.
Oh no, LaMelo though. LaMelo ain't there. He hurt. He done for the year.
That's why I say if it holds, because that means the Hornets will still be playing kind of at the same level they've been playing, even with LaMelo. Now, if they drop, then they obviously won't play, but it would be more intriguing with LaMelo, no question. But I like what Charlotte does. Like they play together, and people still not they still sleeping on Scary Terry.
Right.
I love point guards that get buckets.
Yeah, he picked up where he left off in that Boston run when they was one shot away from going to the NBA Finals as rookies. Him, Tatum, and Brown. Without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. So, he definitely been scary for sure all season.
Yeah, not having LaMelo takes a little bit off of, but I'm gonna watch. Especially being down here in Atlanta, I'm gonna watch every game of that series.
Yeah. Okay. Well, before you go into your MVP, I got a question for you. Before the MVP, do you think? Okay, forget that. I'm gonna ask it a different way. Are you gonna take Ja Morant or Trae Young right now? You got to start a team. You have them two to start your team. Who you taking? Ja Morant or Trae Young? Because I had this argument with people. I ain't gonna tell you. I'm gonna wait to see what you say before I tell you what I'm gonna say. Ja Morant or Trae Young, who you taking?
Man, that's a tough. I'm not gonna lie to you, but After watching Trae Young since Nate McMillan is taking the job,
Yeah.
Trae Young. You know,
Okay.
like dude out there shooting 30-footers. And
right. That's your game too. You pulling that thing from deep. That's your game.
He out there dropping dimes too. So
yeah,
like the basketball, like if you asked me this question a month ago, I'm gonna say Ja Morant.
Right.
The way Trae Young has played during this run they've been on since Nate McMillan has taken over, I'm gonna go Trae Young. He's taking another.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ja Morant, man. That kid is special. He like the Lamar Jackson of basketball. Is there something about him, man? He whenever Jaren Jackson come back, it ain't gonna be no question if Memphis in the playoffs. They gonna be in the playoffs. Then they can go from there to try to build a championship team around Ja. But Morant to me, man, he got something, and he in the West. You know what I mean? Like he's in the West. So if he was in the East, he'd easily be in the playoffs right now. But he's in the West, and over and over, 2 years in a row, he's fighting. He's scrapping for that playoff spot. And again, they got to wait for Jaren Jackson to get back to really have a chance to push. You know what I mean? But I'm taking Morant over. I'm taking Morant over Young. Like Young to get buckets. He kind of remind me of Carmelo Anthony a little bit. He'll get buckets, but is he gonna win for you? Even though Melo did, Melo won and got to the playoffs, but he put up last year, he put up a lot of points and assists, and he did everything and entertained the crowd. But you lost by 30. You know what I mean? You're throwing it through people's legs, but you're losing by 30. What Morant windmilling you, and he's winning.
That's why I said since McMillan has taken over, because they have one of the best records in the league since in that 15 game, he's been a different guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been there. I see Atlanta in the playoffs. I mean, I see it, and that's cool. But that was just something that I couldn't wait to ask you. And yesterday, yesterday I was listening to some of the guys in the barbershop. One guy said that Ben Simmons was better than Zion Williamson. I said, boy, you drunk if you think that.
No, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree. I'm not. That's not even debatable to me. Like
Zion will be, like I said, and it's another kid that's out here balling and hasn't had a real offseason yet, right?
Right. Yeah.
So during the offseason, you get in there, you work on your body, work on your game, and you come back the next season with a new element or two to your game.
Right.
You've seen that from Zion. He's still doing everything he's been doing and still putting up prolific numbers, right?
Right.
When he really with his people, and he might even slim down a little bit, you never know. But he's definitely going to work on his game, come back next year, and he's shooting the ball at a high clip from three.
Yeah.
Or he's picking pops at man. This kid's going to be, he's going to average 30 a couple seasons during his career.
Yeah, I think so too. They could score. They just need some. They need some defense, and I think, I don't know where they gonna fall in the draft, and obviously they still trying to fight to get in the play-in game. I don't think that. I mean, if you look at the standings, I don't think that when Curry and them smell the playoffs, they gonna kick it into that gear. And like I said, I'm more so, even though Ja Morant don't got the talent that the Pelicans got, I believe more in him making it to that 7th, 8th, 9th seed than I do the Pelicans this year. You know what I mean? The Pelicans got to get some defenders on their team.
I'm about to say the Pelicans don't play no defense.
Yeah, they got to get some. They got to get some defenders. They're gonna give you 145, but then all you got to do is score 146.
You're right.
That's it.
What do you think about the Kings? You think they could make it? They can sneak in there?
Man, and it's so funny because the Kings always got a talented team, but they never seem to even. So, I think they. I don't know. I don't know what they miss. I don't know if it's coaching. I mean, they got all the players. I mean, they don't got a lot of vets, but they got all the players that can hoop. These guys be balling, but they just it's a mentality now with them. Like, is De'Aaron Fox good enough? De'Aaron Fox not not doing what Ja Morant did, and Ja Morant was eating oodles and noodles 2 years ago, and in his 2 years he been in the league, took Memphis from the bottom in playoff contention. Both years he been in the league, and De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield, they got the talent. They Fox do the same thing, but for whatever reason in these close games, that's what Sacramento's good for. They lose a bunch of games in a season, but they always losing by 1, 2 overtime. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah, I think they still have another step to take as far as the maturity in their games. As far as De'Aaron Fox is a big time talent, but he makes that, like you said, that next step in maturity of running the team and getting buckets, making it all. I think they'll be fine, but I think they're probably next year they'll be a playoff team. I would say that would be my guess. But to answer your MVP question, coming into the season, you couldn't have paid me to think anything other than Giannis was going to win 3 in a row. But when Jokic is playing, he's really that's probably the race right now with everybody else that's been in it, getting hurt and missing a bunch of games. So this is probably Jokic and Giannis right now. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's numbers are as impressive as theirs, even though they're in first place. And who do you pick for MVP for the Suns? Do you choose Chris Paul or do you choose Book?
Neither one.
Right. So, and they're in second place in the West, so both of them might get a little bit of love. So,
what the media is doing is they giving Chris Paul more of the credit for the turnaround than they are Devin Booker.
Well, shoot, Booker was averaging 26 last year, something like that, and they were terrible. I mean, a couple years ago before Chris Paul got there, they were terrible. So, so it's, I mean, can you?
And then James Harden just got hurt, so he out of it. And I think they're gonna put today is April 10th, so they're gonna put James Harden down for as long as they can because they're gonna need him. I think the playoffs start in May 1st, the first week of May. Yeah, so they're gonna tell him chill. We don't need you right now. That MVP race is over with for him. LeBron, again, he been out of only 6 weeks or something like that. So he gonna be out a little longer. AD, they definitely not rushing back because I think the injury that Anthony Davis got was similar to what happened to Kevin Durant in Golden State. Kevin Durant tried to come back and play through it and ended up, being gone for a year and a half. So they're gonna make sure they take their time with him. And then Embiid, even though to me, this particular season, 2021, he's been the best player, but Embiid missed games.
Yeah.
So I think by default, you got to give it to Jokic.
Yeah. Because even the Bucks are starting to sit Giannis every other game. I think they sat their whole starting 5 last night.
Okay.
So they changed I think Giannis missed his 4th game or something like that because of a knee injury. So he misses a couple more games. He probably, like you said, by default is going to be Jokic.
Yeah, the Joker. I mean, and that's the thing, Even if Joker win it, even if Jokic win it, it's okay, yeah, you won it. You just won it, but you nobody just threatened by them winning the whole thing. I'm not scared of Denver, even though last year what they did was surprising, especially being down 3-1 both series. They coming back winning both of those, upsetting the Clippers, and then turning around. And I think one of the games that they played against the Lakers, I was like, man, the refs is cheating these boys for real. This don't make no sense that Denver's cheated like this. But they still took it to 6. Yeah. And Bron, obviously he closed the deal like he was supposed to. But I just Jokic, he win, congratulations. But who if the playoffs start today, who are they playing against first round?
Let me see. If the playoffs start today, they would be playing.
I ain't even pull it up.
playing the Lakers in the 4-5 game.
Sweep. MVP gets swept.
Right?
It's gonna be a sweep. It's gonna be a straight broom.
The
You know what I
Nuggets,
mean? So
Nuggets have
yeah.
home advantage, so I give them a game or two.
Oh, I definitely not giving them 2. It's definitely not going 6. I mean, Murray might get you 1, but yeah, that is over with. Like, yeah, Jokic don't even play well against the Lakers. So yeah, I'll give 5, 4-1 Lakers. That ain't like they running against the wrong team in the playoffs. Any other team, I might go 6.
Think about it. It might be a little more intriguing than we think, right? Like now they have Aaron Gordon to put up to try.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about Gordon. So they got a little toughness with Gordon. You still got
size too.
Size, yeah, okay, but
Porter, you got Gordon and Porter on the wings. Gordon, Porter, and Barton out there together.
Yeah, true.
More intriguing to support.
And Gordon last year in the playoffs when Orlando was the 8th seed and Milwaukee was the 1st seed, Gordon went crazy and they got the first game. Remember they put them down 1-0 early in the playoffs, and then Giannis and them came back and they had to scrap their way to beat Orlando, but Aaron Gordon balled out.
Oh yeah, he sure did. That's when. Matter of fact, they looked like the better team before old boy got hurt. Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah,
they was giving it to the Bucks.
They was. I was like, ooh, the Bucks finna lose the first round in the tournament. Oh my goodness. Vucevic in Chicago, giving Chicago some hope. But with the dunk champion, Levine over there. So that's a good move for the Chicago Bulls.
Did you catch them?
You said they catching up to the playoffs, the Bulls?
Did you catch the Hawks-Bulls game last night when Levine had 39 in the first half?
Woo! Nah, I did not. I didn't even see that game.
Yeah,
30.
But guess what? Trae Young still got the job done.
Yeah, see that's the Trae Young, Oklahoma Trae Young I want to see. Because the Trae Young that I'm seeing, he gonna give you 44, 45, but the winning don't matter. But for him to pull out a win like that and no Rondo there no more, so it's not like you like, all right, we can wait to the playoffs and then Rondo gonna carry us. Nah, you the point guard, you the future, you carry your team. So that's kind of, I mean, like I say, with Vucevic and Levine, that's a good build. That's a good building block for the Bulls, and they can go from there. I don't know like how they gonna finish the season this year. Maybe they make it to the play-in game. Maybe they get the 8th seed. I don't know, but in the future, that's you could build around that. With them 2 pieces, you could build. I don't know if you can get a Derrick Rose. So you definitely ain't gonna get no Jordan team, but if you could at least try to get like a Derrick Rose type of Bulls team where you at least competing for the Eastern Conference Final, you got 2 good starting pieces with Levine and Vucevic.
Yes, we can move around them. Levine had last night, but they, like I said, Trae Young had 42, 9, and 8. So
nasty.
The young boys was out there hooping. Both of them.
Well, man, thanks, man. I got to talk to my camp folk, talk to my cuz, man. Just getting some basketball in, and man, I want you to enjoy your day, man. I'll hit you up later, cuz.
Yes, sir. Have a good day, man.
All right, you too, my brother. All right, man. So we just had an interview with the great Daniel Horton. If you don't know about Daniel Horton, man, look that man up on the internet. He was a straight certified killer. Man, this is Jitim Young. Let's talk about it, Shy. This is Locker Room Talk edition. Lax Facts. I'm Mr. Wildcat, Mr. Northwestern, Mr. Big Ten, Chicago legend, Hall of Fame, Jitim Young, man. We're gonna have a lot of shows with former players who've played this game, and we're just gonna sit down and have some talk, some good one-on-one conversations. Anyway, man, you guys, whatever you do it to the best of your ability. God bless. Hold on, we got a quote from one of my partners from Israel. He said, The last European basketball championship was a sensation that the Slovenian team won the European championships because the favorites were the teams in Spain, Serbia, Greece, and France. And the Slovenian team upset all those top teams. And, you know, that's basketball. That's why we play the sport. All right, everybody, man, y'all have a great night. Man, peace.